Good evening and welcome to another episode of Unscripted and Unchained RPG Review. I am DM Bloodworth, and as you can see by the graphics, today's video is a return to my series going through the ShadowDark core rulebook. Um, Going to specifically focus on the magic system today. This is episode 5. I will be sure to link the playlist to this at the very end. And really excited about ShadowDark. And there is some exciting news coming out of Arcane Library. This coming Sunday, the pledge management is going to be closed. The final shipping costs will be attached to, our accounts, and hopefully within 4 to 6 weeks or so, I'm hoping to get the physical copies in my hand. Really, really excited about this Kickstarter. Really excited about this game system. It is probably the best thing that has come out in 2023 that I've seen across the board. There's a lot. There's a lot weighing in on this product that it already had a record Kickstarter at roughly 1.3, almost 1.4 million dollar Kickstarter, the highest at any OSR or independent, other than Critical Role, obviously, but the highest of any OSR independent uh, game rules product that has come out. And there's a lot of hope on this. And so far, it's been performing above and beyond, I think, expectations. So, this in my mind is going to be a clear runner up, if not the winner, of, best new role playing game of 2023. If it isn't, I don't know what has come out so far that can challenge that. But anyway, I'm going to actually save that for another video and go over that, and my projection for that when I return to my other video series talking about, some of the best indie OSR games that are out there during the month of July. So, without further ado, let me jump right into the magic system of ShadowDark. So here we have magic. What you call wizardry, I call faith. But in either case, it's our dedication that fuels it. Iraga, half-orc priest, to Krieg, human wizard. Casting spells. Spellcasters use the raw power of creation and destruction to bend reality, shaping it to the will of their gods or ambitions. Wizards, wizard magic is fickle, complicated, and volatile. Even the most learned mages tread carefully when reaching beyond the veil to grasp arcane energies. Priest magic is miraculous, sacred, and instinctive. Priests who offend their gods might lose their ability to cast spells until they can undertake penance. Casting. When you cast a spell, you invoke magic to cause an effect. Casting a spell takes your action. Characters with spellcasting talent can cast spells. To cast a wizard spell, make a spellcasting check by rolling a d20 plus your intelligence modifier. To cast a priest spell, make a spellcasting check by rolling a d20 and adding your wisdom modifier. The DC, that means the difficulty or challenge setting, is to successfully cast a spell is 10 plus the spell's tier. All right, so spells don't have levels here, they have tiers, and I'll go over those a little bit later as well. So just remember the base is spell level plus 10. Results. If you succeed on your spellcasting check, the spell takes effect. If you fail your spellcasting check, the spell does not take effect. You can't cast that spell again until you complete a rest. Critical success. If you roll a natural 20 on your spellcasting check, you may double one of the spell's numerical effects. This remains in effect on a focus spell, see page 50, until your next focus check. Critical failure. If you roll a natural 1 on your spellcasting check, the spell does not take effect. If it was a focus spell, the spell immediately ends. For more details, see page 50. Wizard spell. If the spell was a wizard spell, you can't cast the spell again until you successfully complete a rest. You must also roll on the wizard mishap table corresponding to the spell's tier. See page 46. Pre-spell. If the spell was a pre-spell, your deity is greatly displeased and revokes its power. You can't cast the spell again until you complete ritualistic penance to your deity and successfully complete a rest. Penance. The GM determines the exact nature of the penance you must undertake based on your deity and alignment. Penance requires a holy quest, ritualistic atonement, or a material sacrifice that you donate or destroy. Inadequate or subversive penance, such as donating your sacrifice to a party member, only displeases your deity further and makes the spell loss permanent. That's pretty cool because Kelsey Dion is already anticipating, anyone trying to fudge the system here. And so, yeah, you can't game your deity, right? It's not a wise thing to do. So that's pretty funny that that's in there. So your sacrifice value. So they do not use, she does not use spell levels here. She uses spell tier. All right. And tiers incorporate a number of different levels. So a spell tier of 1, the value of the sacrifice needs to be 5 gold pieces. Doesn't necessarily have to be coins, but something of equivalent value. 2 is 20, 3 is 40, 4 is 90, and 5 is 150. This is not like AD&D or any of the older editions of Dungeons & Dragons or newer edition of Dungeons & Dragons. Gold is not as prevalent in ShadowDark as it is in some other games. So it's a pretty steep price at 150 gold pieces. Wizard mishaps. So wizard mishaps tiers 1 and 2. If you roll a 1 on a d12, it's devastation. Roll twice and combine both effects. Reroll any further 1s. All right. 2 is an explosion. You take d8 damage. Refraction. You target yourself with the spell. 4 is your hand slip to target a random ally with the spell. 5, mind wound. You can't cast the spell again for a week. Discorporation. 1 random piece of your gear disappears forever. Spellworm. You lose the ability to cast a random spell on each of your turns until you pass a DC 12 Constitution check. You regain the ability to cast those spells after completing a rest. Harmonic failure. You lose the ability to cast a random spell until you complete a rest. Poof. You suppress all light within a near distance from you, including sunlight and magical light for 10 rounds. The horror. You scream uncontrollably for 3 rounds in primordial, drawing lots of attention. Energy surge. Primordial is a language. Energy surge. You glow bright purple for 10 rounds, granting enemies advantage on attacks against you. Unstable conduit. You have disadvantage on casting spells of the same tier for 10 rounds. So these are just for the first two tiers of wizard mishap spells. 3 and 4, I'm not going to go through all of these again. Um, some of the numbers just double up, right? So blast radius is you and all near creatures take 2d6 damage. So it becomes even greater of a consequence for rolling that one, a natural one, on your spell check. Mishap 5, we get to pyroclastic extrusion. You deal 3d8 damage to yourself and all near creatures. We keep on going. So there's a number of mishaps, as you can see. Scrolls and wands, using scrolls and wands. Scrolls and wands contain magic spells. Spellcasters can use them to cast these spells if the spell is on their spell list, even if they don't know the spell. To do so, they must succeed on a spellcasting check with a DC of 10 plus the tier of the spell contained in the wand or scroll. Treat this the same as any normal spell casting with the following additions. Scrolls, after a successful or failed casting attempt, the magical writings disappear from the scroll and it ceases to work. Wands, on a failed casting attempt, the wand stops functioning until you complete a rest. On a critical failure, the wand breaks and permanently ceases to work. The spellcaster incurs a mishap or penance as usual. Spell attributes, all spells have a tier. Those tiers run from the range of 1 to 5. They have a range, a duration. Overlapping effects, ongoing effects of the same spell on the same targets do not combine. The spell with the most powerful effect takes precedence, such as the spell with a longer remaining duration. Focus. Some spells last for as long as you focus. You can't cast other focus spells while focusing. You can end a focus spell at any time. To maintain focus, make a spell casting check at the start of your turn as if you were casting that spell. Success. The spell remains in effect until the start of your next turn. Failure. The spell ends. If you were focusing, you do not lose the ability to cast that spell. However, if you critically fail on the check to maintain focus, treat it as a standard critical failure. If you take damage or become distracted while focusing due to an earthquake, for example, you must immediately make a spell casting check to maintain focus. So here we have some examples of Tier 1 priest spells through Tier 5. And the same with wizard spells. So you can see they have far more spells on Tier 1 and 2 than priests do. All the way up through Tier 5. And then we get to the spell descriptions, right? And you can see how quick and easy these spell descriptions are. I mean, it is just the presentation of the information in here is just so, clear, concise, and very, very usable. I mean, hopefully, Arcane Library comes out with spell cards. And so you can get all of these, or you can pretty much create them yourself as well. But it would be nice to have these on a deck of cards and have them all. I wonder if there's enough for all 52. But yeah, that's definitely an idea that I hope that they consider doing as coming out with spell cards. Let's see some like pretty powerful stuff. Divine Vengeance, a tier 5 priest spell, 10 round duration, range itself. You become a divine avatar of your god's wrath, wreathed in holy flames or a black aura of smoldering corruption. For the spell's duration, you can fly. a near distance. Your weapons are magical, and you have a +4 bonus to your weapon attacks and damage. Pretty powerful thing there. Let's take a look at a high level wizard spell. So tier 5 wizard spell, hold monster, is just holding. Let's see. Oh, they kind of go in, they're in alphabetical order. So let's find a fairly powerful wizard spell that is tier 5. Plane shift is pretty powerful as well. So you get to shift in planes. That's pretty high level. Pillar of Salt, a creature you target turns into a statue made of hardened salt. You can target a creature you can see of level 5 or less. If successful, focus the spell for 3 rounds in a row. The transform becomes permanent. Oh, that's pretty powerful. Power word kill, that's what I was looking for. You utter the word of doom. One creature you target of level 9 or less dies if it hears you. Treat a failed spellcasting check for this spell as a critical failure and roll the mishap with disadvantage. Holy cow. All right, so that is a dangerous spell to use. All right, not just a critical failure, but you treat a failed check as a failure. Now you're going to have a lot of pluses because of your level. It's going to be pretty darn hard to just get a simple fail on this. But if you're casting it at a level 9, then you're adding that 9 to your spellcasting check too. So that's going to push your spellcasting check up to a 19 that you'll have to roll. And then you're going to subtract from that your intelligence modifier. Let's say you have a +4. It's going to be a 15. So anything less than a 15 and you fail, this is a really tricky spell to use. And it should be, because you can kill something at level 9, or below with just a simple word. So let's continue on. Restoration. This is something that my AD&D players are really looking for. It's a tier 3 priest spell, and we're going to continue forward through this here, and that's the closure of it. Now, I wanted to point something out really quickly while I am here, because there's a difference in this system that I think needs mentioning, right? So let's find the wizard class and wizard spells. So when it says here, you can see here where it says level 1, spells known by the spell tier, right? So when they're a level 1 wizard, they have 3 first tier level spells. And let's say they memorize 3 of those spells. They can cast those spells as many times as they wish, as long as they make their spell check. All right. So if you have magic missile and you've memorized magic missile, you've memorized light, and you memorized read magic, let's say, you can cast those 3 spells all day long as you make your spell check. As soon as you fail the spell check, then you can't cast that spell again for until you have a complete rest. All right. And same thing works with the clerical spells, right? So you can cast them as often as you want, as long as you make your check. All right. And then if you fail the check, you've lost it. If you've critically failed the check, you can actually lose it in the case of a priest for, up to a week of time, or until they atone, and so on. So this really is a pretty, I don't know how unique this is. I haven't come across this kind of a system of unlimited casting spells as long as you're successful with your check. but it's something that I think is a real standout. I'm going to switch views back here. It's something that I think really stands out, and it really, I think, solves the issue of low level magic users and low level priests or clerics um, kind of losing their use as soon as they've cast their one, two, or three spells for the game session in most cases. And so this actually gives them that function. I mean, it really resolves. I've played first level magic users before, and when creating those characters, it's like, well, I better have a decent dexterity and a sling, because as soon as I've casted my one spell or whatever, I'm going to have to rely on doing something for the party. And the best thing with a magic user with a higher dexterity is to start slinging stones. And that actually became, in many cases, more effective than just having one magic missile. It was like, I'm going to rely more on this than I am on whatever magic spell I'd be able to carry. ShadowDark solves that. So it not only simplifies modern D&D, let's be honest, but it also enhances old school D&D and kind of brings them together and comes up with a great middle ground between the two. So it fixes the problems of the past, the weaknesses of the past, and it simplifies the utter glut and complexity of the modern interpretation as well. So yeah, really, really phenomenal system. Uh, really enjoy the magic. This magic system is going to be fun to play. All right, and I think I can't say anything else better than that. I think for a magic system in a role playing game, when you can actually say this is going to be fun to play, because you have that risk of failure, you have that risk of critical successes, you have the fumble or the critical fails on the other thing, and then just the randomness of what those effects are going to be, consequences are going to be. Spot on, really, really cool. So I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed actually going through the magic system and talking about it. Um, as always, if you have any questions or comments, please leave those in the questions and comments section. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. The channel just hit 2,800 the other day. I know it goes up and down a little bit, but it just hit 2,800 the other day. So really, really excited about that. I appreciate everybody that has come on and subscribed, and all of those especially that are leaving their comments and sharing the videos and such. It really does make it so much more fun for me to know that people are engaging and people are asking questions or giving me suggestions and just enjoying the content as I'm producing it. So as always, keep on coming in, spread the word. I look forward to seeing you on a gaming screen sometime soon. I look forward to seeing you at a gaming table at a convention sometime soon. And, let's just keep on enjoying our hobby of tabletop role playing, no matter what system you're actually playing. And yeah, just keep those dice rolling and keep on having fun. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend. And thanks for stopping in. Take care.